Hey y'all, it's Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black Owned Nashville. Super excited to have our industry experts, Lovely and Calvin Gatlin, joining me this lovely, beautiful day that we're finally getting here in Tennessee. And we're going to be talking about Southern Flare in Smyrna, Tennessee. We're also going to be talking about how business owners can leverage partnerships in order to grow their business. And I tell you, they have really mastered using other people to really grow their business over the last year and help to boost up their events and all kind of stuff. So let's jump into it. Happy Friday. How are you all doing today?
We doing well over here.
Yeah, everything is pretty good. Good morning.
Yes, I love it. We got a bunch of folks tuned in. So look, before we go any further, just tell the folks that are tuned in right now a little bit about Southern Flare.
You want to go
You
first?
go ahead.
Okay, well, so Southern Flare is a cigar lounge, but we don't consider ourselves like any other cigar lounge. We're inspired by three things: good music, good food, and good conversation. And so, what you're going to get here is an experience around cigar smoking second to none. That is what we focus on here at Southern Flair. And one of the ways we do that is by our dope events. We want to do things that's eclectic, that's different, and also going to, give our local community, which is Smyrna, Tennessee, a little bit of our culture as a part of the fabric, of the community here.
I love it. That is amazing. And so tell us, I love the fact that you all keep it interesting and you always have a different type of event coming up, whether it's live music, line dancing, barbecue, all kind of things going on over there. So tell us a little bit about what's coming up at Southern Flair.
Go ahead. What we got coming up?
So normally, our busiest days start on Thursday to Sunday. Those are our busiest days. So Thursday is going to be our jazz night. And last night we actually incorporated some spoken word into it, and it was just a whole vibe. So we had wine tasting and spoken word and jazz, and it was just a really nice night, especially for couples. We had a lot of couples come out. So that's what you're going to get on Thursday night. And it's a free event unless you want to, make a reservation. And we got some, food and wine that comes with that reservation on a Thursday night that we're implementing next week. On our Friday nights, it's more like our laid back night. I call it grown and sexy. So we got some R&B music going, and it's just a nice little vibe. We have it's a little bit busy, but not too busy where you can't relax. And we want to keep that feel on a Friday night. Next month, we're going to incorporate, we call it Choke and Smoke. It's kind of like a comedy show series. So we got that coming on a Friday night. So just stay tuned on that. And
That's
then,
a cute name. I love
yeah.
it.
So I'm looking forward to that because we're gonna have like multiple comedians come in on that event, and we're gonna pair it with food. So I'm really excited about that. I've never done a comedy show in a cigar lounge before, so looking forward to that. On the Saturday night, though, is when it gets a little bit more lively. We have a DJ T Quinn, and she rocks the house. I mean, it be standing room only in here on a Saturday night. And she has like a nice genre of music. So,
Mhm.
we got some old school, some blues, some hip hop. And because she knows, I'm into line dancing, she makes sure she tie in some of my line dance songs in there so we can, get that going. And it's just a good time on a Saturday night, which is something not typical in the cigar lounge. A lot of people is kind of like confused about who we are. But in a nutshell, we're everything, just depending on the time of the day or the day of the week.
Everything with the cigars.
With the cigars implemented,
Yes.
that's what brings everything together is the cigar smoking experience. And then on Sundays we have blues and barbecue. And so we now gonna have a DJ every Sunday, and we got a barbecue menu, And it's just a good time, for you to again enjoy a Sunday afternoon over good food and good conversation. Now, once a month, we do have what is called our Steak and Soul dinner show. And my ideal of that was kind of taking what you get on the General Jackson, but we put our own little twist on it here at Southern Flair. It's just a nice, classy, evening for you to enjoy a local up and coming artist over a nice dinner. And I am so proud of it because it's continuously sold out now every month. And it just gets better and better and better. And which goes into why we're here talking about partnerships. None of what we can do as far as our events happen the way it does without those partnerships.
I love it. So let's talk about that because I think a lot of business owners are scared of partnerships, scared to collaborate, scared of what the outcome could be, don't know how to approach even getting those partnerships done. And that is the reason why their businesses are not growing, and I think so it's really important for us to think about what type of partnerships make sense for our type of business and find a way to make them happen. So what type of tips can you give to folks as they start to even think about what type of partnerships make sense for their business?
Well, I would say that it's said very easily, but it's done very hard. I would definitely want to put that out there first. But I would also start with communication, and it really take a compelling vision and strategy.
Mm-hmm.
The like-minded individual that's working together have to have a compelling vision and a very compelling strategy, and they have to stick with it and know that it's about the business and it's not about you individual that's in business together.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the right things, it goes a little bit smoother because it's about policy procedures. So you can talk about you and I all day long, but if you stick to the strategy, the policy procedures, that should supersede the individuals that's working together.
I love it. Yeah, man, I say that all the time. And I want to say hey to Tanya checking in the comments. Tanya Davis, who is hosting the Women Who Rock Nashville event coming up on June 11th. And Lovely and I are both nominated. So check that event out for sure. But let's get back to what Calvin said, because this is very important. I have noticed in a lot of the folks that I know that are not Black, they understand that the partnership is about driving the business, not about them liking one another, right? And I feel like for some reason as Black business owners or Black people in general, we feel like we got to be friends for us to work together and make money together. And that ain't the truth. Like, I don't have to necessarily like you as a person, but if we are in line and in sync with what our goals are and we can drive there together, get there faster, make more money, I'm with it. Like, I don't have to love you as a person.
Right.
And I don't know why we get caught up so much in feeling like we can only do business with people that we like.
Right.
What are you all's thoughts on that?
Well, here's my business tip when it comes to partnerships. Never make a business decision based on a temporary emotion. So your emotions is going to fluctuate like water and tides just based on the circumstance. So I may not like you now, but that don't mean I won't respect you later. So you have to check your emotions when it comes to business and realize every decision's made is for you to follow those policies and procedures so you can get that desired result. It's just business. So rather I like you or even respect you personally, that should not matter when it comes to how I make a business decision. And a lot of people make bad business decisions based on a temporary emotion. And that's bad for business, period.
Exactly.
Are just ruling out the emotion altogether. And when you can get to that point, business have nothing to do with emotions. I mean, we make some decision emotionally to support others, but when it comes down to business, think you should incorporate emotions too much. I mean, yeah,
I'll
that's
tell you, I think that that's interesting coming from a man specifically because I feel like in general, men are a little bit, it's a little bit easier for men to take the emotion out of business. But for some reason, women, we tend to lead with our emotions and it becomes a little bit more difficult for us.
Yes.
So I always check in with my fiance to be like, am I tripping? Like, like, should I do this? Is it a good idea? And I think, there may be even other women in your circle or whoever it may be, but sometimes we have to check in to be like, is this a good business decision or am I letting my emotions or my feelings cloud my judgment? So I love that you have a partner right there in there making the decisions with you that's going to be like, no, this is about this money,
Right.
So,
And it's a blessing that because being a married couple is one thing, that's one dynamic, and then being business partners is another dynamic. And part of our business plan was establishing that line in the sand between the two. Like, I'm not going to take what happens at home to work, and I'm not going to take what happened at work home. And we have to have some level of emotional intelligence to let that happen. And again, said easy, done hard, right? But that is the practice, in the partnership. I have to realize that regardless of what happened here, I still got to be a good wife at home. And regardless of what happened at home, I still got to show up to my obligation and my role at work. And again, that goes into checking your emotions. So that way you're able to withstand the test of time. And I think that's the difference maker in what a successful business and what a failing business is. It's not the resources, it's not the talent, it's not the product or service, it's your emotional inability or ability to just sustain anything that comes at you.
right.
I love that. So, how do you all, we talked a little bit about your partnership with one another, but then you all have tons of partners that help make the business run and help the business to grow. How do you go about identifying who's going to be a good partner, and then what are some of the things that you put in place to ensure that partnership runs the way it's supposed to?
Oh, that have come with some trials and tribulations, and you have to be open to learn from others' mistakes. There's a lot of mistakes that is made out there, doesn't, and it means that you have to embrace their mistakes, and hopefully that supports you in making better decisions as time progresses for you. What do you think, man?
Yeah, it takes you being vulnerable, just getting out there and just starting where you are, and then allow the process to show you where opportunities and strengths occur, not just between the people that you're working with, but also within yourself. And you can better learn how to work with people in their strengths rather than their areas of opportunity. So one good thing me and Calvin do is we hire based on capacity, but we invest in people's ability to live up to their potential. But that's very situational. Everybody's not the same, and what they bring to the table is not the same. And we manage and lead from that, perspective.
But it also goes back to what we made mention of very early, is very effective communication. So if you're going to do some business with someone, make sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's up front. So as we navigate through those waters, there's no hiccups.
Yep.
Right.
And those check-in periods is very important. So, and
getting it on paper is important as well.
Yes.
A lot of times we're operating in these verbal agreements. These verbal agreements ain't worth nothing, and they ain't holding up in a court of law.
No. But what it do is it shapes you too. So I always have an ABCDEFG plan, especially when you're working with people, because you don't know their level of obligation. You don't know the circumstances on the background. So yeah, you plan, for the worst, hope for the best. But I'm the opposite. I plan for the best and plan for the worst too.
Yeah,
You have to make sure that no matter what happens, the show will go on as planned. Period.
Yep, I love it. This was fantastic. I think, again, it's so important that as we think about how do we grow our businesses, how do we create scalable businesses, that we leverage the people around us, whether they, sometimes it's a business that's very similar, that we can partner together and do some things.
Right.
Sometimes they just have complementary products or services that will work for our audiences. You just never know. And so I think it's so important that our eyes and ears are always open, looking for the opportunities to work with one another, because we go further together.
Absolutely.
And, it's so important that we think about that. Tell folks if they are like, they heard an event that sounds amazing, because I know you all have some great things coming up. How can they find you and learn more about Southern Flare and come out and support?
Well, it's real simple. You just look up Southern Flare Cigars, and that's going to be on Instagram and Facebook. That's how you're going to find us. And also, you can literally just type in Cigar Lounge near me. Southern Flare is going to be in the top 3. So look that up, or just look us up, Southern Flare, on Google, on any of the search engines. And we're usually, one of the top 3. So we've done a lot of work on our digital marketing and creating that, footprint for people to find us. And it's very easy now. We're also on Google Maps. We're on Apple Maps. So you're going to be able to find us. Just plug in Southern Flare.
I love it. Make sure you go follow Southern Flare on social media. Keep up with the events that they have going on. Drive by. They're right in Smyrna. Super easy to get to. Great vibe. Great entertainment. Great food. Great wine. Great cigars. Everything that you might want. So go and support this Black-owned business. Thank you all so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you all. And I think we said this last month, we were going to dive a little deeper on working with your spouse. But we're going to make sure next month we get into that, because that's a topic that's important. And a lot of folks out here like trying to separate the two, and it's a struggle. So
we're going to need a glass of wine for that.
Yeah, we'll do that one in person over a glass of wine. I love it. All right. Well, I'll see you all next month.
Yes.
Thank you all again.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.